Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Wednesday, May the 1st, 2024. Wednesday, May the 1st. Let's dive in. TJ, I'm too through with him. 100% through. Okay? They invite Christina over for breakfast. Okay? I think they did have eggs. Yeah, they did. And fruit. Okay, no meat. And they know Christina's a meat eater, but hey, Molly's vegetarian or vegan or whatever. I don't know what TJ is, but hey. Well, he says, Molly told me you came by late last night. And Christina kind of looked at Molly and she looked. And she goes, well, yeah, I was out, no, late last night after 12. Well, I was out at the Savoy and, kind of got into it with Joss and I just needed my sister to vent. Well, what were you guys arguing about? I would have stopped him right there. Stopped him right there. Let me tell you something, TJ, because Christina in reality is a good maybe 8 years older than Molly. She's nowhere near her age, nor is she nowhere near Jocelyn's age. Okay. I would definitely be what my conversations are about are none of your business. Now, ask me about the last doctor's appointment. Ask me when did the baby, have I felt the baby kick? Ask me anything about the baby, but don't ask me what was your conversation about. And Molly's kind of looking at him. And she goes, yeah, Christina just wanted to vent a bit. It's okay because she goes, Joss being Joss. And so then when he said, well, what was the argument about? Oh, she was just talking about my father and saying some things, that actually did turn out to be true later. But, at the time, and it's the way she said, I'm surprised Christina said that actually turned out to be true. And so he said, okay, you know what? That brings me to, you know, my point or topic that you may need to distance yourself from your father for the rest of the pregnancy. And Molly looked across the table at him. And Christina looked, she says, excuse me? And he goes, we all know the kind of person your father is. And, danger can follow him. Look at my Uncle Curtis. So I don't want our baby in any kind of danger. So it's best for the baby and best for you if you distance yourself until after you have the baby. Christina look and Molly was just like a TJ. See, and in that case, Molly should have said, hold on, Christina. Time out, everybody. Christina, I don't know what planet he's coming from. Because, see, we never talked about this. And I'm sorry that I even invited you over here for breakfast. Because had I known TJ was going to come at you like this, sister, I wouldn't have. And TJ would have just been sitting there looking stupid because no, he was way out of pocket. And so Christina says, you know what? I will never abandon or distance myself from my father. My father has been there for me my entire life. And you know what? I'm leaving. And so Molly says, but you haven't finished your breakfast. She says, oh no, I'm not even hungry now. She gets up and she walks out. And TJ also interrogated her, how much rest did she get? I mean, it was just crazy. And as soon as the door shut, Molly goes, TJ, what the H, And I'm like, oh no, Molly, your sister left that room, that your house, thinking you didn't even have her back, right? And he goes, Molly, I wasn't wrong. We have a right to know. She is putting our child in danger. And she goes, Christina is not in danger. She's staying out late. She's saying, that she's going to what 6 hours sleep. That's not enough sleep. She's getting into. She goes, wait a minute. As a doctor, I know. And she goes, yes, but TJ, you are not her doctor. You are not, right? And so she goes, and if Dr. Navarro were worried about anything Christina is doing, Dr. Navarro, her doctor, can talk to her. And then TJ's like, well, I happen to know, that we're supposed to be on the same page with this. And if the other surrogate, if we hadn't lost the baby, she wouldn't be acting like Christina with everything else. She goes, we don't know what she would do. Bottom line is, only reason they know that Christina was out and upset, Molly knows, it's their sisters. And she was talking to her sister. Any other surrogate can be doing anything. And surrogates don't have to let you go to doctor's appointments at all, right? Oh, whoa, he was just wait. You don't get to dictate. They don't turn their lives over to you unless they're a live-in surrogate, and that gets to be messy, right? And so Molly said, TJ, um, Christina didn't sign up to abandon her family, and I'm with her on that. And for you to have asked her that, and he goes, well, I'm just saying that, I feel we need to protect our child. She goes, she should have told him, the child isn't even here yet. It's still in my sister's body, who has the control. Because see, guess what? There's no paperwork, no document that Alexis fought so hard to have them sign. Christina goes straight to Alexis's office, and Alexis sees one look on her face, and she goes, oh, there's my dad. And she sees her face. She goes, okay, what's wrong? And Christina comes over. I just need my mom. I need my mom. And Alexis gets up and gives her a hug. And she was saying, according to Molly and TJ, I'm not doing anything right according to this baby. I'm not eating right. I'm not getting enough sleep. She goes, everything they say I do is wrong. And then Molly wants me to, no, TJ, they want me to abandon and distance myself from my father, saying he's a danger. Dad is not a danger to me, you know? And so Alexis just sits there. She doesn't say, oh, no, sure he's not. She just sits there because she's thinking, no, innocent people do get shot around Sonny. It does happen, right? But if you are in his house with him, it shouldn't happen. It did on the island, but it shouldn't happen in his house, But if you walking in a park with daddy, yeah, you could take a bullet for daddy. You really could. So there is some caution that needs to happen. And so then the baby starts to move. Really kick Christina. She goes, whoa. And Alexis says, what's wrong? She goes, my baby kicks almost like a football star. And when she said my baby, Alexis kind of glanced up at her like, my baby. And then Alexis is touching Christina's belly, and Alexis feels the kick. She goes, whoa, that is a strong kicker. She said, Christina, you were the same way when you were inside of me. And so Christina says, maybe my baby takes after me. And Alexis just looks, because see, Christina is already getting possessive of the baby. We already knew what was going to happen. We saw it coming before they even wrote this storyline. But it is already starting to happen, and Alexis is seeing it. So, wow, everybody, wow. Okay. So, let me see. Next, what we had was Natalia. This is before Christina comes. Natalia has the nerve to just pop in on Alexis, saying, I never met Christina's mother. I met her father, and I wanted to introduce myself. And she does, and then she brings it back around too. Christina and Blaze need to keep their private lives private, not be seen, in public together as a couple. And Alexis says, "Well, I why do you say that? Like, what problem would that have?" Well, because Blaze is a celebrity, and that, could hurt her, that would hurt her image. So yes, they could, I was surprised when I first met your daughter. I met her, she was in my daughter's bed, and Alexis just looks at her like, oh, too much information, but okay, whatever. And so she goes, and I didn't even know that Blaze was in that kind of a relationship. So Alexis says, okay, so I guess that was a surprise to you. But anyway, so Christina and I we didn't get off on the right foot, and Alexis was still looking at her like, why? It's your daughter's business. So then she was saying that, it's just choices with what happened to Link. I have to be more careful. I'm even having a problem with Blaze's management, but I'm just really trying to let them know, and they don't seem to understand that in public they can't be together. And Alexis is like, you know what? I do believe they're adults, and that's something that they need to decide and work out. Well, no, no. I have to look out for my daughter. This is what Natalia's saying. Because, see, Blaze is a celebrity. And Christina, and Alexis looks up. What about Christina? Christina's just a bartender. Woo! Alexis says, well, you know what? Look at here. I've already missed a number of phone calls for this unscheduled drop-in visit. And Lex is already up from her desk, heading over to the door. So I'm going to have to cut this meeting short. And Natalia looks at her and she goes, oh, Alexis should have set her straight. Alexis should have told her, my daughter is worth millions, or at least a mil. I mean, my daughter has a huge inheritance. She could buy your daughter out of it. I mean, realistically, your daughter is up and coming star. My daughter don't have to work a day in her life, miss, you know? So anyway, that didn't go over well, which I knew it wouldn't and it shouldn't, because Natalia has no business doing things like that. She really doesn't. So now we have Maxie. Maxie brought Scott over because she's telling Scott. Maxie is at her wits' end. I see Maxie quitting, but before they brought Nina back to Crimson, I saw Maxie running Crimson. I don't know what Maxie will do. Tracy's going to have to oust Lucy. She really is. They do need to do that whole transfer of stock, because Lucy, she's telling Scott, you're here because you have to talk to Lucy. Lucy is ruining company sales. Yes, her personal following has picked up, but that doesn't turn into numbers and dollars, purchases. Scott, you know it. You've seen the figures. And he's like, yeah, I have. And he says, we were dying on Home and Heart. No one was buying anything when Lucy was on. We almost sold out only after Sasha came on. And so she goes, but Lucy won't hear it. I need you to help. I need you to do your job. So Lucy comes in. Oh, my followers, oh, she just ridiculous. I can't stand Lucy Cole, hater, right? And so she's saying, look at my the followings, the likes, everybody. So then Maxie says, okay, Lucy, because Scott, she goes, Scott. And Lucy's like, well, what's he supposed to say? And so Maxie says, uh, you're a horrible salesperson. you know, you did not sell the product. What are you talking about? We sold lots of product. No, you only talked about yourself, Lucy. And that's exactly what the audience wanted to hear. They wanted to hear all about me. I am deception. It's my baby. And Maxie says, you are not deception. She says, and until Sasha came on, we sold nothing. That's because my fans were waiting for me to get off. She goes, it doesn't work that way, Lucy, and you know it. What kind of sense does that make? It's a shopping channel. People shop while you're on. And so she goes, so what kind of sense does it make for you to say they were waiting? Waiting for what? And so then she says, and by the way, Home and Heart won't let you come back on because they have a reputation, right? She goes, you absolutely are a horrible salesperson. And Lucy just looked at her, and Scott says, Lucy, honey, come here. I hate to take, she's right. You bombed. Sales were not good. It was only Sasha. So then Lucy had to say, what? But Blaze's ridiculous manager won't let her do it. So then if it's not me, that only leaves me. And Maxie says, there is somebody else. There is one other person. And I'm telling you, everybody, for the life of me, I couldn't figure out who Maxie was talking about. Who was the other person? Any of you think of who Maxie's going to say should be the face for Home and Heart? I don't know. Because see, for me, it should be Sasha. Sasha could come and just do that segment only. It's only an hour, and it's probably an hour once a week. She could do the Quartermain job and sell products on Home and Heart at the same time. Sasha is the logical choice, but I don't know who Maxie's gonna say. Elizabeth, they're getting ready to get into an Aiden storyline. He had paint on his backpack and he was brushing it off. Aiden's so cute. He was bringing cupcakes. It was Amy's birthday party, and she requested them. And then Elizabeth said, "And Aiden, earlier a couple of days ago, you had paint in your hair." He goes, "Mom, I told you this accident. I'm in art class. Paint gets over on all over stuff in art class. I set my backpack down in the wrong place." So she was talking to Portia, and Portia told her, she was saying, I'm worried. I'm worried about Aiden. This is the second time paint has been involved where he is concerned. And so Portia's like, well, what are you worried about, Liz? And she goes, it's been a while, but a few years back, there was a bullying problem. And I'm hoping that this is not happening again. Aiden is acting like he can handle it. Aiden is acting like, don't worry, Mom. She said, but I worry. So anyway, Elizabeth ends up calling his guidance counselor to talk to him. So I guess she's going to try to find out that way what on earth could be going, on with Aiden. So now we have, this part was pretty good. Drew calls Curtis into the office, and Drew actually has a formal offer for Curtis, this time in writing, more of the prospectus, the proposal, the whole 9 yards. And Curtis looks at the numbers. I guess it's a generous offer to head that division. And he's like, whoa, okay, this is serious. Drew says, I'm absolutely serious. Nothing but serious. So Nina comes in and she's like, just barges in. What's happening here? And Drew looks, Nina, I'm in a meeting. With Curtis. And Curtis, what's going on here? See, Drew should have got up and showed Nina the door. but he doesn't. And he ends up entertaining the conversation and tells him, oh, Curtis says he's opening up a division, and yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Anyway, that's it. I'm done talking. Well, I need to be done talking about it because it's just ridiculous how somebody can just barge in and be so rude and you entertain that. But yet Drew does the same thing to her in her office. So I guess I shouldn't throw up my hands, right? So anyway, she has the nerve to tell him, well, before you sign anything, make sure you go over everything with a fine tooth comb. Because see, things are not always as they seem where Drew Kane is involved. And Curtis looks at her, and Curtis looks at Drew, and Drew looks at Curtis, and Drew looks at Nina like, what on earth are you trying to do? And so Curtis says, well, you know what, Nina? You know, um, Thanks for your advice, but I know how to look things over. And he gets up and he's getting ready to walk out. And Drew says, I look forward to hearing from you, Curtis. He says, okay. And so she goes, remember what I said, Curtis. So Nina shuts the door and Drew says, what was that all about? She says, I have to look out for Curtis. Curtis is my friend. And Drew says, and Curtis is also my friend. We have been friends for years. I would never do anything to hurt my friend. Anyway, so she goes, just flips that off. Well, I'm here to talk about something else. What was Willow doing in your office? What were you talking to her about? I said, who does she think she is? And I pity the fool for entertaining her. And so he goes, well, I offered Willow blah blah blah. There's a nonprofit organization that I'm working with, and they're launching this, that, and the other, and they want Willow to be the spokesperson because of what she's been through. She can encourage a lot of people going through the same thing. She can open a lot of doors. So, in other words, you want my daughter to talk about her private, personal experience all out there in the public? She goes, I don't know if I like that. I don't know that Willow should do that. And Drew just looked at Nina. He says, well, thank goodness that's for Willow to decide, right? And I'm like, how dare Nina even now say, I don't know if I want her to do that. You have no say, Nina. And so then she told Curtis, I'm not Curtis, Drew, okay, I have an appointment with that congressman you want to meet today. And you could come with. And he goes, I'm not as your driver. She goes, no, I'll introduce you. And he's like, what do you want, Nina? What do you want? You don't do things out the goodness of your heart. So Nina looks at him. She goes, I want access to my daughter. And Drew just looks at her. See, she's now gonna somehow have Drew appoint her something to do with that. But see, I Drew, Mr. Neutral, Mr. Letting people pave their own way, is now doing Nina's bidding. And everybody knows Willow likes to make her own choices. When he pitched this idea to Willow, he didn't say, oh, by the way, you'll be working closely with Nina. So he better not flip the script. He better not, because it's going to end in disaster if he does. I pity the fool if he does that. So anyway, everybody, I do believe that is it. That's it. I'm just looking at my notes real quick. Yep, that is it today. So I will be back tomorrow for another daily recap of General Hospital. Now, let's go to comment corner, comment corner. I'm going to bring up my trusty, dusty comments and see what we have going on today. I'm sorry, everybody. I didn't have these comments ready. Today, I think I'm supposed to go from the top down. Anthony says, Chris is walking around ready. Oh, you mean now her belly is really starting to get around? I don't know. It's not big enough yet. And then Wendy says, kind of boring episode. I like the strike writers. Me too. I did like those strike writers. Nina got rid of Sunny because she's on to the new man. She seems to be unbothered about anything, very selfish. Sunny should leave town for a while. I'm not understanding why everyone is hating on him. The writers need to put some prep into these episodes. Give us some melodrama. I know um, sweeps, for May sweeps, this is not very good. Uh, Beautifully says Maxie and Nina got close because Maxie was married. Oh, that's right. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I couldn't remember the connection there. You're right. Because Nathan was Nina's brother. I mean, yeah, it was Nina's brother. And their relationship grew when he died. You are 100% right. 100%. I forgot about Nathan. And then Emma says, that's what I said. Brenda says, they never showed Charlotte doing community service for her actions. Anna and Valentine, question mark. I know that's going to be a disaster. Jackie says, you must have forgotten they are family related. Nina is Nathan's cousin or something. Actually, actually, it is cousin, but they grew up as brother and sister. But in actuality, when they found out that Nathan Obrecht was his mother, that made Nina and Nathan cousins. You are right. I am says Nicholas, um, the original Spencer, is 19. Nicholas Chavez is 24. Battelle could actually come back for the role. He is no longer wearing his glasses full time, but he's a good fit for Trina. No, I don't see it. I don't see that as a good fit at all. No, because remember, he's only 19, even though, come on, I'm talking about having sex, they do at 19, but the kind of adult relationship that Nicholas Chavez as Spencer had with Trina, a 19-year-old, that would not fit in my, that would not fit in my opinion whatsoever. Battelle had a reoccurring role on a Disney show. He's been busy. Chavez, yeah, I think I remember him on a Disney. I don't watch Disney shows, but I think I did see something. Chavez looks more mature because he's 24 playing 21. Yeah, but like I said, with where they have this, what they've had this 21 do, a 19-year-old, mm-mm, they can't do it. Now, they could bring back Nicholas Battelle to be Jake's age in high school. He could do that easily. Bring him as another character in high school. User in you says, pretty lady, do you think Drew will be the baby's daddy playing around with old Nina? No, Nina cannot have children. Nina at all. Yeah, that was the problem. Remember, she found out with when she was married to Valentine, and she went and Britta was the one that told her she was completely infertile. And then user says, okay, who's older, Brooklyn or Michael? I don't know. I do not know. I would have to do some research on that. Jane says, BLQ is older. BLQ is friends with Don. That's right. 100% right. BLQ is friends with Dante and Bensonhurst. I think that's New Jersey. Yes, she is older. Brooklyn was older. User said, Pretty lady, I'll ask again. When will the wedding be done? Brooklyn, my must be 30 by now. I am right. If I'm right, I guess. And then Christara says, I hope Brenda shows up at the wedding. Brenda, you mean Brenda Barrett? Why would she show up at that wedding? P. Merle says, now wouldn't that throw a monkey wrench in everyone's world? Yes, it would. But Brenda and Lois were very, very close. They started that record label together. So that, okay, Lois could have sent an invite to her bestie to her daughter's wedding. I could see that. Hello, Daily Recap Lady. May sweeps in full swing. No, I'm not. I'm not seeing May sweeps in full swing. Clemmy says Young Spencer is on the Disney Channel. Um, she made tetrazzini. That's why her son said it tastes better than her spaghetti. Olivia almost choked after Cody told Sasha she could sleep in his room and he would sleep downstairs with the animals where he belongs. I know. When she kissed him, I was, yay, finally. They really are cute together. Yes, they are. And I used to couldn't stand Cody in the beginning, but they really are cute together. Donkey says Nina is James's aunt. Yes, she is. Well, cousin, but we could say aunt. Second cousin, maybe. And then Clemmy says, I agree. Valentine and Anna have great chemistry together. I guess the writers had to break them up in a way so she would trust anything, or so she wouldn't trust anything he said. So when Pikeman came up, she can be objective. And then Donkey says chicken terrazzini. And then Denzel says, the boy Dex is trying to act all cocky on Jason. Yesterday's GH episode, like Jason would have taken that little boy. Yeah, he would have taken him down. He should be glad that Jason is protecting him because of Joss. But I was glad that they met for the first time, and Dex gave Jason the information about Valentine and Pikeman. Now that Anna knows that Valentine is Pikeman, well, that Valentine has something to do with Pikeman. She doesn't know that he is Pikeman. It's going to be all out war. I'm here for it. Nina and Drew did in their office again. Yeah, they're feeling each other. They both are meant to be, in my opinion. I'm surprised that Willow didn't smell the sex in the office. That's why I say, yeah, that office needed airing out when they did it. I guess the sex wasn't that good, but I'm surprised that Willow now wants to forgive Nina because of Drew. We just got to see how she plays out, how it all plays out. Nina will use Drew to let Willow back into her life. I'm calling it RN, but the whole episode of yesterday, GH, was decent to me. Though great review, Daily Recap Lady. P. Merle says Lustful Nina and Drew is the one thing just tacky, but revengeful and vindictive. Nina and Drew together could be downright dangerous. I love how she doesn't blame Sunny, just Ava. I know, it's all Ava's fault. And then Angela says Nina and Maxie are related via Nathan. They do have a closeness. You're right. Everybody is right about that. I completely forgot about Nathan. I loved him. P. Merle says, yeah, but not lately. Things have been difficult since Nina fired Maxie. Nina usually runs and whines to Ava. That is so true. All right, everybody, that is it for Comic Corner. Comic Corner, I'll be back tomorrow with another daily episode of General Hospital.